Put your gloves on already.
All right, so here we
Oh,
go,
wait, no,
guys.
take them off.
Welcome back to a new session. I am here with some friends of mine to talk about this story. Uh, it should pertain to anybody and everybody when it comes to technology. The fight over messaging. So we have on this corner Google with its 18,000 messaging apps versus iMessage, Apple's one messaging app that rules them all. So everybody, please pardon the Lord of the Rings puns if you hear any, because I'm probably going to make a lot of references to it. So Google begs Apple to add RCS to its messaging app, and Google's probably saying hell to the no. So to give you the
Apple said,
crux of what's going on, Apple is sitting over in the corner by itself with his lovely messaging app for all iOS
Bruh.
users. What's
Bro,
up?
you know what Apple's doing, right?
What's Apple doing?
They're sitting in the corner like Golem, hold their little iMessage going. My
My precious.
precious. My precious.
Oh, classic, classic, sir, classic. Because I just finished watching all three like a couple of
well,
days ago.
Google isn't asking Apple to get rid of iMessage. They're just asking them to add compatibility with RCS.
Yeah,
Simply.
that's true.
That's no different than I can open up a ODS
I,
doc on my Excel or whatever. I don't have to have the actual Microsoft
mhm,
version of the codec.
mhm.
It's
So,
compatible.
so
But
the long and short of it. Hold on one second. So the long and
go ahead.
short of it is basically Google is trying to do a PR campaign to pressure Apple into accepting a new standard for messaging across the board with the rest of the world.
Pressure, you mean shame.
Shit. Pressure, because Apple doesn't shame the pressure, dog. They don't shame them. Like Apple has to feel like they're losing out on something for them to finally copy it. So that's how I see it, me personally. I don't know
Mm,
how it is across the rest of you guys, but
mm.
our standard bearer, good old Brandon. How do you feel
Let's go,
about
Brandon.
this? How do you feel about this, Brandon?
Educate me on this because I still don't know what's going on.
What? You're not
Can I take
listening?
that? Can I take the honor?
Damn,
Yes.
All
damn,
right,
Junior,
so
did you read the
go ahead,
article?
no radio.
So essentially, what is going on here is historically, text messaging was supported by SMS. Okay.
Right.
So even when Apple originally rolled out iMessage, they had to add compatibility for SMS.
Mm-hmm.
SMS has reached its end of life. It does not support the features needed for the future.
Like encryption.
Encryption, as well as being able to see when a message was read or file sizes, being able to send larger files so you don't end up with a crappy picture and all the Apple people say your phone takes bad pictures. No, it doesn't. It's just that iMessage won't let me send a full size image to you.
Isn't
Oh,
SMS literally for simple messages?
exactly. So the
Mm.
issue down to everybody else is ready to leave SMS, but they have to keep supporting it because Apple won't upgrade to the new standard.
Mm. So a 14-year-old standard. So
Older
hey,
than that,
look. The thing
older
is,
than that.
the question is Apple still got enough pressure, enough swag to be able to keep on supporting this old standard?
Yes.
You think that these telcos are going to keep supporting something?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I don't
They still
know
do
because
phone
here's
calls.
the thing: with going from four carriers down to three, that's less swag that you have to be able to hold over top of a company now. And T-Mobile is becoming a bigger company every day, so they can
So
easily just drop you and be like, "Yo, we don't even care no more."
So Brandon, you know what this is like? This is like them old people that still got them old boxes they don't want to let go with the clock. Apple is literally holding up progress because they're broke. They're literally holding back. That would be like if the government said, you know what, you got to keep LTE forever. You never get to switch any of those bands over. It's the same thing. They're holding up progress in the personal pursuit of control in their native ecosystem or ecosystem.
see,
Progress has to occur.
here's the thing. So I don't know how many people ever rode this train with Google going through different messaging apps versus messaging
Oh
apps.
Lord.
I have. Okay. So this train has a lot of cars trailing behind it, right? And the
Did
problem
Google talk?
is, yeah,
G talk?
yo, G Talk, G Message, um,
What was
Google Message,
what
like
was that
all.
one they only what was that one they only use in South America? Or do you remember that one?
Oh, I don't even know. I have no
Yeah.
idea. Yo,
Orchid,
they had
Orchid,
man.
Orchid, bro.
Yes, Orchid. Dog. Here's the problem. Google is trying to appease for everybody, right? But apparently, what Google has not realized is people like to be dominated and rule only underneath one ring. And apparently, Apple has solved this problem a long time ago and decided to put all of Middle Earth under one ring.
Oh, here we go.
You what?
I'm just saying. I mean, think about it. You know, it's Middle Earth fighting right now.
All right, bro. Okay. So if you want to go with the LOTR stuff, okay.
Uh huh.
So so Apple with iMessage was like malprocess. And then Google over there is, with RCS is like looking at SMS going, you shall not pass.
Yup.
and then, then
Oh,
and,
and then
and
poor
then
little hobbits in the middle.
but then iMessage is looking at RCS going, that ruins it. And then Google's looking back at them and going,
Oh
it's
yeah,
okay, Frodo. It will be all right.
I mean, the thing about this, guys, in the long term, the only way this is going to ever get changed is if the carriers all start dropping SMS support
yeah. That's the only way.
and
The
they
SMS.
move.
the problem is do you will Apple be able to keep the carriers satisfied? Because here's the thing, they sell a lot of iPhones. I mean, they sell a lot of Android phones, but they still sell a lot of iPhones. And you're talking about what 30-40% of their base all of a sudden not be able to communicate with the other side. All of a sudden, if they just even if they told them you got 2-3 more years of SMS support, that's still a lot of iPhone users not being able to communicate with Android users. And Apple can just say, "Hey, look, we don't care. Our base is our base." I mean, that it can come down to that.
I think Google might have to just get bold. They may have to just be bold. If
I
Apple
don't know.
has no, then Google just needs to give up on this shame miss.
I mean, at this point, you can end up having a huge rift between two different sides, the RCS side versus the iMessage side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what the road that we're looking at right now. I feel like Google's like, look, man, we reaching our hands across the aisle one last time before we say f you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm starting to see.
Okay.
What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think this is to me it's tasteless. It's tasteless on both sides. Google wasting their time shaming and Apple literally trying to hold back technology just because they want to try to maintain their image that they so-called have something special.
Mm,
When all they do is have the same thing inside a box.
mm.
It's the
What
same
about you,
thing.
Brandon? You're a do or die Apple ride or die fanboy. So what you think? Oh, he's not even gonna respond. Hey, you have anything else to say, Blind G?
See, we don't Apple. No, Apple's our friends. No, they want to ruin us to keep using the SMS. But they have iMessage. Oh, fuck iMessage.
Oh God, I don't know
No,
how you did that, but dude, on that note, we're gonna ride out from there.
I
Hey,
got one
thank
more
y'all.
thing.
What's up?
I would just wonder if there's some kind of way in the software Google could try to work around this and write some kind of bridging software and it wouldn't come into
Bro,
legal issue.
they've already reached out on good faith, haven't they? Though they've tried to
Well, I know that. I'm saying,
yeah,
could they possibly manipulate the software to basically cause an emulation to still make it work?
to emulate Bonjour, which is
And it
what I think they're using in the background.
would not become a legal issue. Is there any way for that to happen?
I
But
think
I
they
mean,
could. I think there's an open source way to do that. Actually,
there
No
probably
different than how you
is.
run Windows apps on Linux using something like Wine or whatnot.
yeah,
Some
yeah, yeah, yeah.
way to emulate it to still make some of these functions work so they can still kill SMS.
I don't know, man. Here's the thing. I don't think it's on Google or anybody else. It comes back around to the same problem that Apple's having right now. A lot of their products support
Well,
USB-C. So
well,
why does
Google.
the rest of the world have to be putting up with lightning cables
Well, bro,
or Thunderbolt?
it's not really a Google Apple problem. It's Google being the standard bearer of people tired of Apple dragging their feet. It's not just iMessage. It's also WebKit and Safari
Yep.
and shit like that, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
Google's trying to push, and Apple's kind of drag the feet.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I use both Android and iOS, but I mean, I'm starting. The cracks are showing in the wall.
Mm. Hey man, you're the first person to start talking about them cracks. Cause I mean, I just think that this is like it's kind of like this is the last caveat for Google to be able to say, look, we're trying to be nice to you right now, but if we decide to really use our might, we could really make your days very, 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 very bad.
Well, there's one thing Google got to do first. If they want to really play the game with Apple, they got to play it all the way. They
Mm-hmm.
need to stop putting out mediocre hardware. They need to begin to take some market share. So they do have this, so that way they actually have a leg to stand on with the carriers. That's number one. We don't need any more mediocre phones. They need to come in with a killer phone that actually gets people excited and begins to fly off the shelves. Therefore, they become the standard. They did it with the camera. A lot of iPhone people literally came over just for the Pixel camera, and then within a year later, they all went back to
Probably win
iPhone.
back.
They went back because Google half stepped it, and they keep half stepping with their releases.
The hardware is just not there.
It's just not there. They keep giving you the almost flagship phone. It's not acceptable.
So that means that a lot of iPhone users are looking for something else. Then,
Well, it ain't that they're looking for something else. It's just that the people who, like I said, the people who were
Oh,
fanatical about the camera, they all
yeah.
had to bow down and say, "Hey, that camera is legit." They
Well,
had to
and
do it. But then they go, "Well, what about the rest of that phone? Why is all this
and
other stuff
Bluetooth
mediocre?"
doesn't work. Power
yeah.
issues.
Well,
Screen have a
and
problem.
Keon. To be fair, these are not iPhone users. These are just users that
Yeah,
happen to use iPhones. I
yeah.
think if they
Uh,
found something that worked better, it was. I mean, how do you think iPhone got so much share?
yeah, that's true.
Because simplicity of use and the hardware kept pushing the edges for a while.
Well, only the processor pushes the edge. Everything else
Yeah.
is mediocre.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Hey,
you're
hey,
essentially. Well, I mean,
I feel like
let's not
hey,
kid
look,
ourselves.
that's a whole nother conversation.
Well, yeah, let's not kid ourselves. It's a Samsung phone running an iOS. I mean, if you look at the parts.
Shit.
But
Well, we're going to continue this discussion off camera. But thank y'all for watching.
Oh yeah, and go watch Lord of the Rings.
Yes, watch Lord of the Rings. You'll get all the jokes there.
Yeah, we're not they're not sponsoring us, but
Look
if
at
you want to,
these two nerds planning over here. They're over here nerds planning.
Hey, there you go. Hey, there's nothing more fun than that.